Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're making pizza dough and pizza from scratch. Let's go. All right, so the first thing you want to need is yeast, sugar, salt, flour, olive oil, and then some warm water, and then a scale. Scale is kind of necessary just because you are going to need some accurate measurements here, but let's get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do here is tar out the scale and then put in 312 grams of warm water. All right, so I went a little bit that heavy there, added 314 grams, not a big deal, nice warm water. Now it is time to add the yeast. I do not add a full packet, I add about half of it. All right, now once the yeast is in, just give it a little bit of whisk with my fork. Get it all incorporated in-ish. Kind of went off camera there, it's tough. And then I'm going to add 13 grams of sugar. Once the sugar is added, mix it in, and then wait around 5 to 10 minutes, and you will notice that the yeast is starting to eat the sugar. This is the yeast about 3 minutes in. This is regular speed. Okay, so once the yeast fully eats the sugar, you'll notice at about 5 to 10 minutes, then it's time to add the flour and the salt. So 500 grams of flour and 15 grams of salt in, just mix it in with your hand. I like to do it with my hand. Some people do it with a wooden spoon. It gets messy, but I just don't want to clean the wooden spoon. So do that, mix it up real well so it'll start to form a dough, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but we shall see. So I have the flour and the salt added. I'm kind of just going crazy on it, trying to mix it up. Yeah, it's gonna get messy. All right, so keep doing that, and then you'll see what starts to happen. I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to form a dough. This is when I like to knead it a little bit in here, just to get it really together. And then that's when I add my 12 grams of olive oil. Okay, so you're gonna notice that it's gonna be very wet and sticky, but it's very important that you don't add any flour or water, because you're gonna change the hydration level of the dough to water ratio. So you don't wanna add anything, just keep working it, and it's gonna get less sticky. And at this point, once it's really all come together, I like to take it out, put it on the counter, and then really just work it in. I don't really put any flour on the counter. This was spillage. I just throw it on the counter and then really start kneading it, and you'll see the result. Okay, so after about 5 to 10 minutes, you'll notice how easy it is to work with. And then it's still gonna be kind of not super smooth. What you wanna do is just cover it up, ball it up like this. Put the bowl over, let it rest for 15 minutes, and notice how it feels before and after the 15 minutes. It's insane. Okay, so while the dough is resting under the bowl, this is when all the gluten that you just beat the crap out of is gonna finally relax. So it's gonna be so much smoother and softer once that 15 minutes is over with. So what I like to do after the 15 minutes is just a couple more kneads, and you'll notice it just gets very smooth. Then I ball it up. After that 15 minutes and that couple kneads, I ball it up again, scoot it with my pinkies against the counter to make sure it's really cinched on the bottom. I just throw it in that bowl, put some saran wrap over it, and let it rest for an hour, and it should double in size. Okay, so you'll see after the 15 minutes, it is going to be very soft and very smooth. You don't even have to really knead it. You can kind of just ball it up again and then put it in the bowl and just let it rest for an hour. Wow, look at that. I just balled it up. This iPhone camera does not do it justice, but it's beautiful. Okay, put it in the bowl, saran wrap, let it rest for an hour. All right, and then after 1 hour, let's take a look. Wow. Now what you're gonna wanna do is take it out of the bowl, put it on the table, keep the top on the top. I split mine into 4 just because I like my pizzas smaller. You can split it into 2, you can split it into 3, however much you wanna make. I'm gonna split it into 4 and then I'll show you what's next. All right, so now that you split them into 4, what you're gonna do, keep the top to top, flip it over, fold in the edges, and keep doing that until you have a nice ball with a nice tight surface. I'll show you what they're gonna look like. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is put them into separate containers. If you have a big container, you can put them in like that and then just keep them, separate from each other. But I'm gonna put mine into 4 separate containers and then either let it sit for 6 hours if you're gonna eat it that night, or put it in the fridge and wait overnight and then eat it that next day. All right, and there you have it. That's pizza dough from scratch. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video, share it with your family. Hopefully next time you guys have a open Saturday, open Sunday, you guys can do this, enjoy some fresh pizza at night. Stick around, I'm gonna be making another video of making that pizza. So that'll be followed up probably a couple days after. Hopefully I can get it out a couple days after this one. And leave a comment, let me know what I should do next because this was pretty fun. Thanks.